Coming up next, it's Rogich and Miller. This is Junior Varsity Quiz. Hello and welcome. The 50th anniversary season of Varsity Quiz continues with Junior Varsity Quiz. I'm honored to be your host, Nathan Tannenbaum. Now, back in March, 33 middle school and junior high school teams competed in a one-day tournament over at Harney Middle School. The 4 top teams from that tournament earning spots in the semifinals. So the winner of tonight's match moves on to the 2019 JVQ Championship at Vegas PBS. Let's go ahead and meet our players, starting with Rogich. We say hello to Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
There's William.
Hello.
Cheyenne.
Hi.
And Maya. Give it up for the kids from Rogich. And our starters for Miller are Nathan. Hi, Nathan.
Hello.
Frank.
Hi.
Antonio.
Hi.
And Mason. Give it up for Miller. So students, there are 25 questions in this first round with each correct answer worth 5 points. A reminder to the students, please speak loudly. The microphones can hear you, and that's great, but if the judges cannot hear you, a correct answer may be counted as an incorrect answer. Ready? Let's play Junior Varsity Quiz. The sea level is usually higher in the Western Pacific than in the Eastern Pacific, thanks to what consistent system of prevailing winds? And that's Miller, Frank.
Currents.
Incorrect. Rogich, Andrew.
The Coriolis effect.
No, we're looking for the trade winds. Next question. While pencil drawing, acrylic painting, engraving, and clay sculpturing are among the visual arts, what general category of the arts includes storytelling, singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments? Rogich, Andrew.
Fine arts.
Incorrect. I believe they got it in time. That's Miller, Frank.
Classical.
No, we were looking for performing arts. Next question, what name was given to the first organized territory of the United States encompassing lands beyond the Appalachian Mountains between, and that'll be Rogich, William?
The Louisiana Territory.
Incorrect, between the Great Lakes to the north and the Ohio River to its south. I believe that was after the bell, so we can't ask for your answer, Antonio. The answer we're looking for was Northwest Territory. Next question, the common buckeye, the painted lady, and the South American monarch are what kind of insects? Miller, Frank?
Butterflies.
Yes, sir. The Dragon Boat Festival and Lantern Festival are traditions in what country? Miller, Antonio?
China.
Yes, sir. A little bit louder next time, Antonio. The following 1787 quotation by Noah Webster relates to which constitutional amendment? Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are in almost every country. Miller, Frank?
Second Amendment.
Yes, sir. This passage is from what novel? For some, time passes slowly. An hour can seem like an eternity. For others, there was never enough. For Jesse Tuck, it didn't exist. Rogich, Andrew?
Tuck everlasting.
That is correct, yes, sir. Name the first successful polymer that was first used in the late 1930s in toothbrushes and women's stockings, and later in parachute shrouds. Miller, Frank?
Nylon.
Yes, sir. Now a calculation question. Express this ratio in its simplest form. 1 3/4 to 1 1/2. Repeating, express this ratio in simplest form. 1 3/4 to 1 1/2. Miller, Frank?
7/6.
Yes. All right, in 1853, what purchase was completed that brought the nearly 30,000 square miles from Yuma? Rogich, William?
The Louisiana Purchase.
Incorrect. From Yuma to Las Cruces into the United States. Miller, Mason?
The Gadsden Purchase.
Yes, sir. In 1776, because it lacked the money to build a significant navy, the Continental Congress authorized attacks on any British vessels by privately owned commercial ships. What was the collective name for such ships? Miller, Antonio?
Privateers.
Yes, sir. Next time you got to really speak up, Antonio, like you mean it, like you're mad at somebody. But that is a correct answer, yes. Name the central moving components contained by cylinders in gas compressors, pneumatic cylinders, and reciprocating engines. Rogich, William?
Pistons.
Yes. Although the fiddle had not yet been invented, And in fact, he was 35 miles away in Antium when the fire broke out. What emperor has long been, Miller, Frank?
Nero.
Yes, sir. Well, he played the fiddle while Rome burned. The Dutch scientist Christian Huygens is credited with building the first clock involving what body suspended from a fixed support? Miller, Mason?
Pendulum?
Yes. What federal agency has a long history of protecting presidents, vice presidents, their families? Rogich, Andrew?
The Secret Service.
Yes, sir. What device used in navigation and orienteering is a type of magnetometer that measures? Miller, Nathan?
Compass?
Yes. The consensus is that the religion of Islam began in the early 7th century in the region that became what modern country? Miller, Antonio?
Saudi Arabia?
Yes. Thank you, Antonio. This title of a scientific paper alludes to a song in what musical? Supramesenteric vein expiothrombosis, the clinical sequelae can be quite atrocious. Rogich, William?
Mary Poppins?
Yeah, that was kind of goofy, wasn't it? A week after approving $9.375 million for the Louisiana Purchase, President Jefferson requested another $2,500 to fund what expedition? Miller, Frank?
Lewis and Clark.
Yes. Depending on its pronunciation, what three-letter homograph can mean either a knotted ribbon or a polite gesture? Miller, Mason?
What is a bow?
Yes, but I wish, and we're not playing Jeopardy, but thank you so much, Mason. Although a bullet is small in mass, it can have a large momentum because of what? Miller, Antonio?
Its velocity.
One more time.
Its velocity.
Yes, sir. What technology enabled Abraham Lincoln to instantly communicate? Rogich, William?
The telegram.
Yes. Examples of what military tactic include the bottling up of Athens by the Spartans, the Kingdom of Jerusalem by the Fatimid Caliphate, Constantinople by the Ottomans? Rogich, Andrew?
A siege.
No. Malta by the British, Cuba by the United States, China by the Japanese, and Nepal by India. Miller, Mason?
Blockade.
Yes. What country borders both Chile and the Atlantic Ocean? Miller, Frank?
Peru.
Incorrect. Rogich, Cheyenne?
Argentina. Argentina.
Yes, sir. What polyhedron consists of one square and four triangles? Miller, Frank?
Square pyramid.
Judges? We will accept that. That is correct. We were looking for just a pyramid. Okay, so that is the end of round one. But before we move on, we wanted to get to know our players a little bit better. And we'll start with Rogich, and we'll say hello to 8th grader Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
Hi again.
Are you having some fun here on Junior Varsity Quiz?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you can get back to me later. I understand that you play a whole bunch of musical instruments.
Yeah, I grew up with music as a kid.
What kind of, can you name them or a bunch of them?
They kind of come to me slowly, but the main ones that come to the top of my head are the piano, the viola, the guitar, and the flute.
Okay, do you have a favorite?
Probably the piano, since it's been the closest to me throughout my entire childhood.
Awesome, well, keep making music and good luck here on Junior Varsity Quiz. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
7th grader William. Hi, William.
Hi.
Nice to have you here. I understand that you like to do some outdoor activities.
Oh, yes, very much.
What's that? Well, I mean, would you have a particular outdoor activity that you like to do?
Definitely hiking. I like to get out. Yeah.
Have you been all over Southern Nevada?
No, not really. I usually stay close to Red Rock. I really enjoy the animals and the scenery of the mountains there.
Oh, it's beautiful out there. Keep on hiking and good luck on Junior Varsity Quiz. Thanks, William. Here's 7th grader Cheyenne. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hi.
Nice to have you with us today. I understand that you have not always lived in the United States.
Yes.
Where else did you used to live?
I used to live in Australia.
And how long have you been here?
Here.
In the United States, yeah.
Well, I lived in the United States and then went to Australia and kind of came back.
Oh, you came back?
Yes.
Okay. Everything good
Yes.
down in Australia?
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
And good luck here on Junior Varsity Quiz. Here's 8th grader Maya. Hi, Maya. Nice to have you with us. I understand that you have traveled to several states in our country.
Yeah, I've lived in Arizona, Texas, Alabama, Virginia, and I've lived here and I've traveled to half of the United States.
Wow. So do you like traveling?
Yeah, and my dad was in the military, so we moved a lot.
There you go. Well, good luck with the travel and good luck here on Junior Varsity Quiz. That's
Thank
our team
you.
from Rogich Middle School. All right, let's meet our players from Miller. We'll start with the 7th grader, Nathan. Hi, Nathan.
Hi.
Nice to have you with us today. I understand that you also play a bunch of musical instruments.
Yeah, I can play the piano, oboe, and violin.
And do you have a favorite?
Piano,
And do you play at school or just for yourself?
just for myself.
Awesome. Well, keep up the music, Nathan, and good luck here on Junior Varsity Quiz. Here's 8th grader Frank. Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Nice to see you again. I understand that you have a couple of pets.
Yes, I have 2 dogs, and I have a desert tortoise in my backyard.
Oh, did your desert tortoise hang out and sleep for the winter?
Yeah, he's been sleeping. He hasn't really stopped hibernating yet, but he'll wake up soon.
You know, the reptilian form
It's
of hibernation.
brumation, I know.
What is it?
Brumation.
There you go. Thank you, Frank. And good luck with the desert tortoise and your dogs, and good luck on Junior Varsity Quiz. Here's 8th grader Antonio. Hi, Antonio.
Hi.
You have a habit or a hobby that is something that I like to do as well. Do you remember what you wrote down here for a hobby?
Video games?
Well, video games, but you wrote down something else too.
Sleeping?
Yeah. That's a good hobby, man, especially for junior high school. So good luck with both hobbies. You probably can't do both at the same time, though.
Yeah.
That could be difficult. Antonio, thank you, and good luck on Junior Varsity Quiz. Here's 8th grader Mason. Hey, Mason.
Hi.
Nice to see you. I understand that you have a favorite type of food.
Yes.
What would
Sushi.
that be?
Sushi.
Now, my wife tells me that there's all different kinds of sushi. So do you have a favorite type of sushi, or does it matter?
No, I don't have a favorite type, but I'm not a big fan of the ones with cream cheese.
Oh, yeah, you just want the fish.
Yep.
I mean, don't they supposedly do like octopus and squid and stuff
They do.
like that? And you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep enjoying the sushi and good luck with Junior Varsity Quiz. The kids from Miller Middle School. And our bonus round is coming up. Heading into round 2, here's our score. Miller with 80 points to Rogich's 30. Before we begin our bonus round, we have a couple of new players for Rogich. We say hello to Lydia. Hi, Lydia. And Vishnu. Hey, Vishnu.
Hello.
Glad to have you guys here. Good luck. We have one new player for Miller, and we say hello to Stella.
Hi.
Hi, Stella. Nice to have you here. So in this bonus round, each of 10 possible questions is worth 5 points. Team with the correct answer gets 2 bonus questions, also each worth 5 points. So team conferring will be allowed on those bonus questions. We'll have 10 seconds before we ask for the captain's response. Now this round is timed at 6 minutes, which begins as I start this question. What capital city of a western U.S. state was built close to an expansive, shallow terminal lake? Miller, Stella?
Sacramento?
Incorrect. Rogich, Lydia?
Carson City.
No, we're looking for Salt Lake City. Next question for both teams is a calculation question. To the nearest tenth, the ratio of 11 to 17 has what decimal value? Repeating, to the nearest tenth, the ratio 11 to 17 has what? We'll go with Miller, Antonio.
0.7.
That is incorrect. And Rogich, Vishnu?
0.6.
No, we were looking for 0.65. So you guys were both on the edges, but we needed the specific answer. So we move on to another question for both teams. Capitol Reef National Park is located in what state? Rogich, Lydia?
Florida.
Incorrect. Miller, Frank?
California.
No, because you had 50 choices. The answer was Utah. Next question for both teams. Although some pioneers used horses to pull their covered wagons across the Great Plains and beyond, what bovine mammals were much better suited? Rogich, William?
Bison.
Incorrect. Miller, Mason?
Oxen?
Yes. Now we have bonus questions, and they are for Miller only. Answer the following associated with the Old West. First, where proper law enforcement did not exist in the Old West, name the kind of citizen groups that often took the law into their own hands. Second, name the fuel used by Native Americans and frontiersmen consisting of dried animal dung. Captain.
Okay, first answer, vigilantes. Second answer, manure.
Vigilantes is correct. And now the answer that you'll never forget, buffalo chips. So you get some bonus points, and now this question for both teams. Since ancient times, society in India has been divided into social ranks called what? Miller, Frank?
Castes.
Yes. Bonus questions now for Miller only. Answer the following associated with India. First, name the currency used in India. Second, give the popular name of the large Hindi film industry in India.
So first answer rupees, second answer Bollywood.
Both are correct. You've got bonus points. Now, this question for both teams. An aneurysm is a bulge in the wall of a blood vessel. The most common location of an aneurysm is in what artery? Rogich, Lydia?
The temple.
Incorrect. That is the body's largest. Miller, Frank?
Aorta.
Yes. Bonus questions now for Miller only. Answer the following associated with the human body. First, unlike the true ribs, the false ribs are not connected to what thin, flat, blade-shaped bone. And second, roughly half of a person's body weight is made up of the total weight of what 700 named organs?
Okay, so first answer sternum, second answer muscles.
Both are correct. You've got bonus points. Here's the next question for both teams. What are the Italian terms andantino, allegretto, and presto tell musicians? Rogich, Lydia?
How fast to play.
We can accept that. Yes. Okay, bonus questions now for Rogich only. Answer the following associated with music. First, which accidental usually raises the pitch of a note by one semitone? Second, in sheet music, what's the name for a vertical line through the staff marking the division into measures?
The first one is sharp and the second one is bar line.
Both are correct. You've got bonus points. Now, this question for both teams. Name the process by which a buried bone or tree limb may become permeated. Miller, Mason?
Fossilization.
Yes. Bonus questions now for Miller only. Answer the following associated with fossils. First, fossilized insects have been found preserved in what type of resin? Second, give the term for a person who studies fossils.
Okay, so first answer amber, second answer paleontologist.
Both are correct. You got bonus points. Next question for both teams. Cephalopods include squid, octopi, and what other pelagic creatures whose name is reminiscent of Captain Nemo's ship? Rogich, William?
Cuttlefish.
Incorrect. Miller, Antonio?
Squid.
Nope, we were looking for nautilus. Next question for both teams. In 1908, the tradition of dropping a ball in what New York Square was inaugurated? Rogich, William?
Times Square.
Yes. Bonus questions now for Rogich only. Answer the following associated with traditions. First, what sport is traditionally known as America's favorite pastime? Second, a wedding tradition of throwing what at departing newlyweds has evolved into other things like blowing bubbles and throwing confetti.
The first one is baseball and the second one is bouquet of flowers.
First one is correct. The second one, we're looking for rice. So we do have some bonus points for you, and we're out of time. Hey, before we move on, our junior varsity quiz coaches work with students week after week, putting in a lot of time and effort to make junior varsity quiz a success. Let's meet this week's coaches. For Rogich, Jason Began and Amber Belak. For Miller, Sherry Chase and Rich McConnell. Now, our judges, they are from the Kiwanis Club of Las Vegas and the Clark County School District. You may not know this, but the Kiwanis Club of Las Vegas and teachers from around the district also provided judges and moderators for that JVQ tournament that we talked about. And a special thanks to everyone who assists in the administration of Junior Varsity Quiz and to Vegas PBS. While we're at it, a quick shout out to all of the teachers, the parents of these fine young men and women, and all the volunteers who helped make Junior Varsity Quiz a success. Our speed round is next. The score going into round three, Miller 135 points to Rogich's 55. We say it because it's true. Anything can happen in our speed round. Before we get started, we're keeping the same players for Rogich. We have one new player for Miller. We say hello to Ananya. Hi, Ananya.
Salutations.
Nice to have you here, and good luck. Okay, so we first have the in the speed round. There are 30 questions, each worth 5 points. It is also a timed round at 6 minutes, and if we get through all 30 questions before the 6 minutes is up, obviously we'd be done after that 30th question. Let's go with our speed round. Chalk is an example of which of the 3 main categories of rock? Rogich, Vishnu?
Sedimentary.
Yes. What's the least competitive market in which a single firm controls product output and or product pricing? Rogich, Vishnu?
A monopoly.
A little bit louder next time, Vishnu, but you are correct. What's the most spectacular result of uplift resulting from continental crustal collision? Miller, Frank?
Tornado.
Incorrect. Rogich, William?
Earthquake.
No, we're looking for mountain ranges. Next question. A 33-degree acute angle that's opened another 57 degrees becomes what kind of angle? Miller, Antonio?
Acute.
No. And Rogich, Vishnu?
A right angle.
It's a right angle, yes. Okay, what's the term for a measure of a substance's impenetrability to light? Miller, Frank?
Transparency.
Incorrect. Rogich, Andrew?
Opaqueness.
They're talking about it? They're thinking about it? We'll take it. Okay, we're looking for opacity, but opaque, they'll take it as a form of the word. So that is correct. We move on. The First Barbary War, also known as the Tripolitanian War, involved naval engagements in what sea? Miller, Frank?
Mediterranean.
Yes, sir. Name the most ancient class of land-living vertebrates. Miller, Antonio?
Fish.
Incorrect. Time, we're looking for amphibians. Next question. What object in Lord of the Flies represents law and order? Miller, Ananya?
The conch.
Yeah, that's right. Since the opening of the Eiffel Tower marked the centenary of the French Revolution, it opened in what year? Miller, Frank?
1897.
Incorrect. Rogich, Andrew?
1863.
No, it was 1889. What is first on an alphabetical list of Canadian provinces? Miller, Frank?
Alberta.
Yes, sir. What religion that originated in India is one of the 3 main religions? Miller, Ananya?
Hinduism.
No, in China. Rogich, Vishnu?
Buddhism.
Yes. What's the term for recreational cave exploration? Rogich, William?
Spelunking.
Yeah, that's right. The name hexadecagon has been proposed for a polygon with how many sides? Rogich, Vishnu?
6 sides.
Incorrect. Miller, Antonio?
16.
That's right, Antonio. Yes, sir. What U.S. president gave his second State of the Union address in 1802? Miller, Mason?
Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, that was close. As part of a terror campaign in 1941, what country dispatched some 5,000 bombing runs on the Chinese capital Chongqing? Miller, Antonio?
Japan.
Yes, sir. Some 16th century religious leaders condemned what astronomer for his revolutionary heliocentric, and that's Rogich, Lydia?
Galileo Galilei.
No. Miller, Antonio?
Copernicus.
That's correct. What borough of New York City is an island? Rogich, William?
Manhattan Island.
That's right. We already got that one. The first Olympic Games were held in honor of what god? Rogich, Andrew?
Zeus.
Yes. Thank you very much, Antonio. Objective personal pronouns include me, you, him, her, it, us, and what other? Rogich, Andrew?
Them.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. What war began in 1990 when the Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein ordered the invasion? Miller, Frank?
First Gulf War.
I don't think we can accept that, no. Rogich, William?
The Iraq War.
No, it was called the Persian Gulf War. Next question. Name the impervious coating of a vitreous substance that is fused through a ceramic body by firing. Rogich, Andrew?
Casting.
No? Time, we're looking for glaze. Next question. Scientific evidence usually is used toward supporting or rejecting what kind of tentative explanation? Rogich, Vishnu?
Hypothesis.
Yes. During the height of the first triumvirate in ancient Rome, Julius Caesar concentrated on conquering Gaul, a vast region that became what modern? Miller, Mason?
France?
Yes, sir. Queen Elizabeth II awarded Tenzing Norgay the George Medal for what accomplishment he shared? Miller, Ananya?
Climbing Mount Everest?
Yes. What property of seawater is often measured as the grams of salt in a kilogram? Miller, Frank?
Salinity?
Yes. What ancient people who left the land of Canaan because of drought relocated to Egypt, where they eventually became slaves for centuries before returning? Rogich, William?
The Jewish?
I don't know if we can accept that. No? Miller, Antonio?
Jews.
No, we're looking for the Israelites. What's the only metal that does not oxidize? Rogich, Andrew?
Copper.
Incorrect. Miller, Antonio?
Gold.
Yes, sir. What string of islands is being formed by the subduction of the northern part of the Pacific Plate and the northwest part of the North American Plate? Rogich, William?
Hawaii?
No. Miller, Antonio?
Aleutian.
Yes. Cardiac muscle tissue is found only in what organ? Rogich, Vishnu?
The heart?
Yes, sir. And we're out of time. Let's find out who won. Our final score, Miller with 195 points to Rogich's 110. Thanks to both teams, an excellent match. Congratulations to Miller. They'll be back to take on Greenspun for the title JVQ champion. We'll see you next time on Junior Varsity Quiz on Vegas PBS.